Okay, so I'm going to be honest. This is take two, and it's take two because I'm stupid. Anyway, let's just turn that down a bit. This is the President P400. I've got a couple of these, and this is going to another collector in Tangambalanga. Well, there's not two collectors in Tangambalanga. No one can be that stupid, to be fair. I have enough rubbish. I have enough rubbish in Tangambalanga to cover everybody here. But that's not true. No, they're actually in the northeast here, and this is a lovely present that is being given to a husband by a loving wife. Now, turn that down. Wouldn't you husbands out there love it if your wife was consistently ringing me saying, what more can I get my husband in radio equipment? What can I do to show him that, I truly love him and, I look, the perfect wife, absolutely. Samantha comes close, but she doesn't ring people saying, how can I make my hubby's day happier? Well, she might, but who knows? But I must say, it's lovely that this is a little bit special being a P400. This is someone going down memory lane, and this is somebody that loves the idea of maybe getting back into a bit of radio. And I'm calling them a collector because they're buying a P400. Now, P400 is not something you're going to buy every day of the week. And, geez, I've got to turn that down, don't I? I've got 50 microvolts going in, by the way, and S9 signal. Anyway, back onto the P400. I've got the P400 and P300. Actually, isn't it funny? I've got two of both, so I've got the matching mobile that, suits this fella as well for myself. And who knows? Look, I don't think that my buyer for this will need a mobile, but you never know. If they ever want the matching one, they know where to find one. In the box, brand new. I've actually got two brand new P300s, sorry, not 400s, 300s in the box, which is the mobile version of the same thing. So, what do we like about the President Washington? Well, people that have seen my videos know that I've always been a big fan. It's A719 chassis, just, beautiful chassis. You don't have to be a genius to work, your way around it. This one we've just calibrated up, actually, because it's been sitting on the shelf for quite a while, so, gave it a bit of a clean-up. Just had to sort of tune up the oscillators a little bit on the clarifier, just to set things up. It was very marginally off, just marginally, but remember when you're using one of these, the mic gain actually has a fair bit of control on these things. Sometimes, like I've tuned this up so that you probably only need to run your mic gain about even 2 o'clock would be fine from what I was having a bit of a play with. Okay, so why is this take two on my video? Would you believe it? I actually thought when I was tuning this thing up, I thought, you idiot, you've turned the S meter all the way down. What have you done? And I'm thinking, I don't normally do that. And what it was, I don't normally admit these things. Of course, there's a reason they call this a switch that switches you from modulation. By the way, the modulation is for AM modulation, just in case people have forgotten that. So sideband, you'll get a very slight deflection, but AM's what it was actually meant for. And look at that. The meter comes back when you pull the switch out. And this is how stupid I was. I'd already pulled the screws out thinking, I've knocked something, done something, something stupid. No, it was the modulation SRF switch, signal RF switch. Anyway, so there you go. I do admit to my stupid things I do at times, and I keep telling you guys, I am just an old fart who's playing around with radios, and I love what I do, sure, but I make as many mistakes as anyone. Anyway, it's got the original Coffin President mic, which is really nice, we're, as I said, putting 50 microvolts into it. I've got to recover from this this switch problem of me forgetting. So let's take it down. Let's see what they can do, because I tell you what, this chassis was very good. So let's just turn that volume up so you can hear it. 0.5 of microvolt, hearing beautifully. I'm going to take it down to 0.1, still hearing it. You're probably not hearing it quite so loud there. 0.1 of a microvolt. I tell you what, pretty happy with that. So I haven't gone for quantity on this radio. I haven't gone for, let's see if we can make the power supply hot and let's see if we can make it, get 22 watts or anything silly. I've really gone for the 12 watt output that they were meant to do, where the power supply will last forever. if you don't go too crazy knocking these things up. So let's have a little look here. Oh, 1, 2. Are these the worst whistles you've ever heard in your life? Here, I'll just turn that mic gain up a bit to get the little bit more sort of oomph out of it. 1, 2, hello. Okay, just over. Look, I'm going to be honest here. That is just over the legal 12 watts by probably a 10% margin. Just sort of peaked about 13 there. And just for everybody's knowledge, yes, ACMA are asking that type approved equipment be kept type approved. So we do our best to try and do that. And to that point, I may have to pull some screws out and just knock that back just a tad, just to keep it at the 12 watts. Just some history. ACMA are definitely talking to people at the moment. They are not aggressively talking to anyone. They are just saying, guys, don't make us do our job. Keep it as close as possible to the real thing. And that's what all we're doing. And, look, someone might submit this video at the moment and say, hey, he showed a video into a dummy load where he was 1 watt over the top. I would hope that ACMA would say, yeah, look, he also said that he'll, adjust that to the type approved standard, and he was on dummy load. Anyway, look, there has been, sort of some talk around Facebook and a number of different spots, and please be aware, yes, we are asking you for a license if you buy an amateur radio any stage with our clearance of what we've got. No, we're not modifying them to 27 megs, the amateur radios, and no, we're not putting channels in an MB8719 chassis in anything like that. So just please be aware, refusal often offends, all that sort of stuff, and we're not a business anymore with this sort of stuff. I just do it for fun, and if anybody really knows me, they know I love this stock. I want in my collection, when you come over and go through my stuff here, this is all stock. I've had to even take switches out of some of these radios. I've had to look and that's just a personal thing. This is not a situation where ACMA came in and said, righto, we want you to change all these radios. Not at all. They could have checked every one of these, and the only one I couldn't have talked for, so we haven't restored this one yet. Got a recap to do on the old Tram D201. So, but that's kind of. If you want my advice, that's where the money is. If you want to sell, let's say the Pace 8193 one day, and I don't, but let's say you did. Well, yeah, just drill a few holes through the front panel, put a couple of external switches on it, and kill the value 100%. And even if you're discreet and you put them on the back, seriously, it's killed it. The Craig, and I know I'm going a little bit off sort of what we're doing at the moment. Once again, look at that. It's stock standard. It's just how it was made. Anyway, so that's my sort of view on things. I've always been a bit that way. Look, do we own stuff that has modifications to it? Of course we do. There's no question. And for historical value, I've got a lot of stuff that I think really represents what it is that the 70s and 80s really meant to people. But just the fact it can't be used on an antenna. And that's where we're at these days. So just not trying to quote the law to anybody, but just telling you what's, the definition of type approved has certainly been drummed into me a bit. And, I'm just trying to give you a heads up so that, if you're ever approached by anybody, that you're just going to know the facts, that you modify a type approved radio, then, you are certainly in trouble. Let me just clear up something too. Another thing, amplifiers. See these here? Nobody can touch you for having them sitting on the rack here. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you do. But trust me, the minute you attach that to a ham radio, and you've got a ham radio license, fine, absolutely fine. You attach that to your CP radio, you've just made that an extension of the type approved, and you've made it non-standard the moment you do it. So there are, a lot of rumours getting around as to what you can and can't get away with. And seriously, I wouldn't push the limits at the moment. I certainly wouldn't. You too could be the. You could be one of two things. You could be the poster child for the ACMA, or you could be the first person that goes up and gets the most ginormous fine. So that's my little speech on that. Okay, so we've got a radio that's transmitting beautifully. I'm on a dummy load at the moment, so I can talk on 35, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm just overloading into this one here at the moment, even with the attenuator on, so I'll turn that off. But a lot of gain in these mic gains, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hello. Hello, hello. As you can see, my PEP's not, even though we picked 13 watts a second ago, we're really okay. We're 8 to 10 watts torque power, so that meter is certainly a little bit slow the way that it reflects that. But as you can see on this meter, it's driving nicely, 1, 2. So with these, I find, about that 2 o'clock position, it gets a really, if you want to drive hard, absolutely get that last bit, but you do have that mic gain. It's there for a reason. Me, that's a personal favourite. 2, 3 o'clock work well. Certainly the way we've tuned them anyway. So this is about 7 or 8 o'clock at night. I don't know whether we'd hear anyone on the antenna. So here's the question. Can I legally put this on an antenna? Good question. So let's have a look. It's got 40 channels. It doesn't have any way where this toggles and suddenly, like it's not a digi mode. All the switches do what they're supposed to. Noise blanket, channel 9, etc. There's no, switches on sides, etc. Backs, etc. Backs, etc. So what you've got is a very stock radio. Great example of, certainly. You don't need a license for this. You just need common sense. What you put into the microphone is, common sense, like voice, be sensible about what you do. And you can transmit on this radio forever at the, maybe the 1 watt issue's minor, but don't worry about that. We'll fix that. But so there is absolutely no problem with using this radio. The moment suddenly the noise blanket becomes right and we're going, channel 42 to 59, or, well, in this case, no, it'd be 42 to 41 to... the 8.5. See, it's that long since I've done extra channels. I was an apprentice last time I did extra channels on some of the old radios like this. The moment you're going into, say, you want to use 55 upper, I would not suggest it, honestly. It's not worth it. It's really not. This mate of mine, he worked Belize today on a 2-element quad and 12 watts of power, and he did it comfortably. I was amazed. He was so happy. He sent me this message to say, hey, and I went, you know what? Belize is something we don't. I've got big antennas, big power, and a lot of stuff on ham radio, and I don't work Belize every day. I said, you did well. Anyway, okay, so basically that's it. I'm just going to put an antenna on, but I don't think anyone will be about. Hang on. And as predicted, there is nobody there. We're on a we're on the correct antenna, not the one up at 105 feet. Unfortunately, I'm on the one that's about 20 feet in the air. Steve 177 229, just calling you. No, look, you know what? Oh, sorry. Oh, there he is. Hey, Steve, you on the quad at the moment? Yeah, gotcha, mate. You're very low down here, but you will be on the beam for sure, or the quad, sorry. But that's all right, mate. I was just it's good to say hello. Anyway, just a very quick hello, mate. He's not going to hear me on that. He's a bit off frequency too, because I know this radio's right. Okay, mate, no worries. Look, Steve's good. But he's, now that's the new thing. Actually, I'll just turn that down first. Steve's on a quad. Now, when he's on that quad, I can hardly hear him. He's in Wodonga. Oh, you certainly come up and signal the vertical, mate. You're on the quad. You're out of here. You're out of sight, mate. Yeah, no, that's fair enough, mate. Hey, just let me finish up a video here, and I'll have a quick chat to you, buddy. I'll just catch you in a tick. Okay, so there's the difference too. Steve on his vertical. As you can see, actually, he's just talking there, and I'm not listening. That's terrible. I'm being rude. Steve watches my videos. He's going to see me being rude. Anyway, he also is a very forgiving soul. So the President P400, great radio. Really, think that if you can get one, grab one. It's when Steve's actually on frequency, and we've got this calibrated to 12 o'clock at the moment. That's why I know he's off frequency at the moment. I don't know what he's using at the moment, but he's definitely off. I'll have to talk to him about that, but that's okay. He might have just wandered off a little bit. But great radios. If you can pick one up, grab one. I've got about another 40 or 50 base stations sitting out the shed that I've got to bring in. But as you can see, I'm just the new building. I've got to get the new building in. Like even in the other room back there, we were out of room, so we're going to have to forego some stuff in here. And if we're going to get some, because I'd like to get all the bases in here because they're just so desirable these days. We want to look after them. All right, 73 is all the best. This has just been a real quick look at the P400. Great radio, and certainly a little bit of fun. And I had to remind myself on how to tune one up. I hadn't done an 8719 for a little while, so it came up really beautiful. 73 is all the best from VK3 Charlie Mike JDW 229 Tangambulanga, Northeast Victoria, Australia. Cheers.